Hello again, Windy City Stunties. This is Goblin Marine with your Week 3 recap. So here at the top we have Ogres versus Underworld. It was 6 Psychopaths versus Trolls Are Stupid. So if I get into this... Or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Underworld. This was a Goblins team. So we go into this one. It was 2-0. I don't think this was as bad as that might seem. Really, there was, I would say, some misplay on the bribes and the strategy for the Goblins. So he took an extra Fanatic, and he took Fungus and 3 bribes, and he lost the kick, and he didn't set up either of the Fanatics on the line. Now, I know it's Ogres, they're all strength 5, but Goblins are hard when you lose the kick. You're so swingy anyway, and you lose the kick, and you don't know whether they're going to score fast or score slow and what to do with your weapons. It's just rough. So he got a little too bashy, got all clumped up, and then he couldn't get out of that. Got pinned down, and really the Ogres just kind of ground away at it. If you look at the SPP, lots for the Ogres, and that it was just a rough match. You know, the dice weren't particularly kind to anyone. You know, the Ogres got a fair number of POWs, but he got a lot of 2s for Trolls Are Stupid, and you know, not a lot of good dice for either of them. But the Goblins really got stuck with some rough 2s and 1s, and the block dice were not cooperating too much, but they weren't uncooperative. I think really it was just it kind of came down to his bribes, and he just kind of got beat up over it. I don't know where it is, but you know where the Switch is. Go play on that for a bit, okay? Kids. I told him I need 20 minutes, and he's up here in 2. Sure, buddy. So, you know, this was a hard game, really. It's tough with Goblins against Ogres. You really need to get a lot out of your weapons. I think he also, at the half, used a bribe on a KO'd Fanatic rather than Fungus. And the KO'd one did later wake up, but I think he thought that was the one that woke up. I don't know. If you're not used to playing Goblins and haven't been bit by that before, because that's happened to me a couple times playing Goblins, it's just something that happens, and you have to deal with it. You know, it's get down, buddy. It's just something that if you haven't been bit by it, you don't know what to do. But once you've been bit by it, you pay really good attention to which name is that in the line. Has that guy gotten up? Again, this is kind of like Cyanide could have a much better interface for this, but it is what it is. So that game was a 2-0. Little Lizzie versus Elite of the Worst, pulling up a draw with Lizards versus Ogres. So this is the Lizard team with a strength up Lizard, and that little guy did work for him, pulling 3 dies on Noblars. You know, he made good use of him. He protected him. He got a lot of guys knocked off the pitch at the end. I think he's starting to get the hang of the Stunties. The one thing that I see Yo Romeo doing with the Lizards a lot is he'll go for a skink, pass to a skink, run up, and then a handoff. But he does that turn 1. I'd like to see him set up on both sides of the field so he can go left or right, and do that on turn 2. If you do it turn 1, you're not in scoring range yet. You do it turn 2, you can score. You know, you've got those skinks advanced, you've got some scoring threats out there, and you can watch how the defense plays and then pick a side and go to it. He was way more aggressive on defense this time. I liked what I saw on improvement on him. I'd just like to see that slight refinement on offense. You know, this Ogre team did well too. If we look at the SPP, they got some SPP. You know, that's good SPP on the Ogres. They pulled a draw. You know, I'll have to see how things are going with the standings. But these dice were the ones that were mean. Look at this, fair bit of 1s. Skinks don't really do anything on 2s, so this wasn't too mean. But then 21 both downs. he doesn't have block anywhere. Obviously, this is Stunty, and he got a strength up instead of block. So that's painful. When you combine, basically all of his pushes, he swapped pushes for both downs this game. You go to the Ogre player, similar, um, but he can use these. I believe this is the team with the block Ogre. And on these dice, again, he dodges on twos, so he doesn't need the threes to dodge. But he was also a little bit heavy on this low end. So that's a draw. Brunch time versus Underway Freaks. So this was the Underworld versus Strikers Flings. And really, the Flings just kind of all left the pitch. It was tough. It looked, when I was watching it, it looked like every time the Underworld team went to dodge, they tripped. It just looked like it was a dicing going against them. But then I come into the dice log, and poor Striker, for every 6 he got 2 ones. The dice were a little bit heavy for the Underway Freaks, for Nillyman, or Grazy. But for poor Striker, man, what are you going to do as Flings when you get twice as many ones as 6s? And then his block dice, 19 skulls and 7 pows? Like, what do you... That's rough. So I was watching the game, and it felt like it was a dicing against Grazy. But then I come and see the dice log, and I'm like, oh, Striker's just so good that he masked this dicing. Because this was rough on him. He was still in it. He still got a couple injuries. But this one, the dice did not want to cooperate. So the dice this week were not on. Nuffle was mad at all of these Stunties for whatever they were doing. He just didn't like it. So Striker losing. Me and Chuck beat me. So the tail of this one is turn 6. It was either turn 5, 6, or 7. I don't know which of those turns it was, but I was trying to stall because Chuck knows how to play, and he can 2-turn it pretty easily with Skinks. So I was trying to stall out and only give him 1 turn to score, but I didn't protect the ball, and he got it off me. And then he went on to score, and I don't think I was in a position for a 1-turner. So that really, I made a misplay, tried to stall too long instead of just putting it in. Probably he beats me 2-1 if I put it in there, being realistic. So I got this one right. The Lizards won. He very smartly blitzed with the Crocs, set up a 2-die Crocs blitz on a Fnatic. So I had Fungus also. And he was smart enough to take my 2 Fanatics off the pitch like turn 1 and 2 or turn 2 and 3. So those Fanatics left. They did their job. One of them, I think, got a KO and one of them got an injury or something. But he did his job better. SPP, again, he's getting a lot on Tree and Leave. Picking up 2 injuries and the MVP. Deathcat Part Due, I don't know. If he doesn't roll doubles, I don't know that it really does me any good to level him. I guess he can take dodge. But that was a close one. It really just came down to a misplay on my part, and I might have been able to make it a better game and take the draw. So if we go to the standings, this week, Chuck stands alone. Big Chuck stands alone on top with 3-0-0. And then there's 4 of us, Nillyman, myself, Striker, and Grazy, all down at 2-0-1. And then there's Common Zimmer with the Elite of the Worst, and Yo Romeo or Killman with the Lizards at 1-2. And then Pookie down here, not having the best of luck. He's having trouble. I think he said he was having trouble figuring out how to play Stunties and how to play Goblins. That's unlucky. But with this TV difference, there's some playing to be done with that TV difference. All right, let's go to the teams and see how the development is coming along. So, Puke first up. He's at 12 players. Just has a diving tackle and a sidestep goblin. But he's low enough TV that he'll be getting some inducements now. He still has all of the weapons, Pogor included. So he's still got a team. He doesn't have enough money to pick up a troll, so he's not going to change his mind on that. Trolls are still stupid. Common Zimmer, the Elite of the Worst. 6 Ogre team, no rerolls. Block, 2 break tackle, and piling on first. So he says these are stunties. I don't need Mighty Blow. I just need to belly flop on them. So he's got 2 Noblars out. I wouldn't even feel bad if he fired them. They're not really worth anything. He can't really induce much. He's got his Appo. Doesn't have a reroll, but, hopefully he's having fun with his team. He's getting some development in. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the season. Underway Freaks, Grazie's Underworld team. Extra arms and 2 heads. He's coming along with the Goblins. Tentatroll. So he says these are stunties. They want to get away from me. So we'll see. I think we'll find out next week if Tentacles is officially a fake skill or not. Still hanging in there at 880 TV. He's still pretty low. Some of these teams are up over 1,000. Don't pay attention to these AI teams. Big Chuck. Man, you're bloating. 1,200 in a Stunty Cup. What are you doing? Sidestep, sidestep, sidestep. Diving tackle. Block on a skink. Grab on the Crocs. So he's going to keep guys tight and play with them. So we'll see how he does. He's on top right now, 3-0-0. We'll see if he can stay there, stay undefeated, become the true Stunty League winner. We'll see. A lot of Stunty games left. Nillyman's Ogre team. I don't know if he started with 6 Ogres and lost one, but he's down to 5 now, and I'm not seeing a lot of Noblars on his page. Look at this. 4 Noblars. Half of his Noblars have skills. That's funny. But he's got 2 Break Tackle Ogres. He's got 2 Noblars with Diving Tackle. He's got 2 Team Rerolls. No Appo yet. That's a little unlucky. Only got 5 Psychopaths. I'm assuming that means he lost one. So he's down a little, but he's got some skills, and he's in the pack. I think everyone's still in it. But we're going to start seeing Chuck pull away, I think. I don't know. He's tough. My team. What have I got going? I've got Grab on my Fanatic, because that's just amazing. I've got Sure Feet, I believe that is, on my Pogoer, because I want him to move. I tried playing Chorfs a little bit in another league and liked that Sure Feet on the Bulls. Diving Tackle on the Goblin. I'm told you're supposed to take Sidestep first. Oops. Just got to feed him some touchdowns then. I've got 2 reroll and no Appo, so if these guys die, no biggie. I got some cash to burn. Maybe I'll pick up a Bribe Stadium or something, save myself some inducements. Maybe I'll pick up Nuffle's Altar. I don't know what that's enough cash for. We'll see. But my TV's actually 830 when you take that cash off. Yo, Romeo. Killman with the Lizard team. He's got a strength up and tackle. He rolled doubles and took tackle. That is brilliant. He's also got a 1-turner in the process. So he has a movement 9 skink, which I believe means you need 2 pushes to be in range of a 1-turner. So that's big. That's a big difference. He doesn't have to rely on the throw teammate 1-turner. He's got what he needs to go for the 1-turner with his team. We'll see if he can pull it off in one of these games. If you're watching this, I want to see you pull that off. I want to see that 1-turner, and I want to see you tackle some Stunties. But his team, I like what he's managed with his team. The strength up on the skink. In another league, I don't know, maybe it's bloaty, but he'd have a bunch of Saurus up there. In this league, that's so strong. He was 3-dying Noblars all day last week. It was good. Good to see. Last up is Striker. I know he's got a block halfling because he cheats and dice logs. He's got a block tree. Look at this guy with the dice hacks on the levels. What is this? Oh, just an MNG. Just an MNG. That poor guy will be back. Last week, his chef kind of shit the bed, pooped in the pot, and didn't get any good cooking. He only got 2 rerolls total last game. First game of the season, I think he got like 5 or 6. So hopefully his chef shows up next time. 740 TV, and he's going to have 2 loners. So he's actually up at 800. He's actually going to be up at 800. So the teams are coming along. Everybody's starting to get a little bit of development going. Let's see what next week's schedule has. 6 Psychopaths. So it's me versus the Ogre team. I don't know. Let's see. 6 Psychopaths is the one without block, I believe. 6 Psychopaths. Yeah, so he's got Break Tackle and Diving Tackle. So it's really going to come down to, I think this game will come down to whether I remember where his Diving Tackle is or not. If I forget, I'm going to lose. If I remember or I manage to take them out early, I think I'll be all right. I don't know that I'll win, but I think I can hold a draw at least. So hard to call because both ogres and goblins can be so swingy, but I think this one will be a draw actually. Chuck versus Striker. So we got Make Like a Banana versus Brunch Time. Hey, I got the Wizard Stadium. I'm calling this for Chuck. If you give Lizards in this format a Wizard, and he's got, I believe a Block Skink, and does he have a Block Saurus? Is that what Chuck had? Or is it just grab? No, I think Chuck's going to take it. He's got lots of development. The block tree will help, but I don't think it's going to be enough for Striker. Underway Freaks versus Little Lizzie. Um, I really think that it's gonna hinge a little bit on how much this tackle does and how much use Grazy gets out of tentacles. So if it, if Yo Romeo can pull off a one-turner or do some work with his Strength 3 skink, or maybe tackle does some work, I don't know. If he can get his skills leveraged better than Grazy can leverage his skills, I think it's possible for Yo Romeo to take it. But tentacles on a troll is just so good in this format because you can't get away. It doesn't matter if you dodge anywhere on a 3+ or a 2+ even. If you can't get away from that tentacles. And he's got Mighty Blow, we'll see. But if the troll stands around picking his nose the whole time, all that'll be irrelevant. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I'm gonna call that one actually for the Lizards. I'm gonna say that because of his speed and because he's got a one-turner in the works, I think Little Lizzies are gonna take this over the Underway Freaks. But it's either gonna be that or it's gonna be like a pitch clear. Last up, Trolls Are Stupid and the Elite of the Worst. So the Elite of the Worst has some really good development. He's been playing well too. Really with that, all these ogres, it's hard to see how he doesn't take it if his ogres show up to play. He's got a full team. He's got the Apo. He's got a pile on, and he's got block. He's got 2 mobile ogres. I think he's going to take it just because of all the development that he's got. There's going to be a fair number of inducements here for Pookie Pookie. I think if his saw does work, that whole thing could go sideways fast. If he gets all the Noblars off the pitch or gets a lot of them off quickly, things could turn around. He just has to pay attention to his bribes. But I'm going to call it for the Elite of the Worst. I'm going to say that he's got enough development to just grind his way through. So that's it for this week. Hopefully you guys are all having fun in this league. If there's any changes that you can think of that we could make to the rules or improvements, let me know. Improvements to these walkthroughs or these weekly recaps, let me know. I'm more than open to it. Signing off, this was Goblin Marine.